Here we go again.
We are here. Welcome to FOMC Wednesday, January 28th. I've got dogs going crazy in the background because they are FOMOing at the mouth, just like the market. And it is 5:42 a.m. And guess what? Today's the day. So I'm going to roll over with you here real quick where we are on the futures. Where are we? There we are. Gold, as you will check, as we posted there Monday morning, and as we posted there Monday morning, looking for gold, 54.19 is what I have. 59.95.80 is up above. Well, we've made it to 53.45 as gold is up 3.65%, up 187 points overnight. And then you have silver over here on the right, where I was talking about silver 90.66, then 115.32, but 109.01 fits better. And, well, we kind of already almost got that on Monday. And so far overnight, it's kind of been a little bit etchy. But you still got the open coming up here, and silver is making a little bit of a run. But let's go on here onto the NQ. As I had shared previously, how this is going to get to where it needs to be. You've got 26.080, 26.116, and 26.406. Boom, right there at the close. Boom, right there after the close. And boom, as we are approaching right here overnight. And that brings us over to looking at our QQQ, which, as we pointed out, QQQ making that move back up to 637 is what fits perfectly, fits in every single shoe that you try on. It fits, and you are here ahead of the FOMC meeting. Well, bring it back over to the futures before I come out and, try and piss on your parade. Talked about the ES, how the ES was going to get up there. Showed you how the ES was going to get up there. But unfortunately, sorry, you didn't get your little dip after making that move up to the upside over here at 69.93. Instead, you're just continuing to climb and make things even better for those that aren't trying to play Game 7 of the World Series, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl. Every single day, there's a wider view and a simpler way to play this, and this couldn't be any juicier for those that look out much further, like you saw in your email yesterday. So, 733.50, done. 737.03, done. That's what we were looking for to see over here on the ES, and your partner over there on the NQ. So here's my warning. My small little warning for you as we go in to the FOMC. The VIX. You're at 1622. Anybody who understands the VIX, anybody who understands this, you can go either way. You can drop this bitch down to 14 before you can blink your eyes. You can skyrocket this through 1811 up to 2102 before you can get the smell of a fart after you've released it. FOMC is at 2 o'clock. Jerome Powell speaks at 2:30. And then you get the questions and answers that are going to come out after his statement. And quite obviously, he is not going to be dropping rates today. So what do you got? Well, you got a new all-time high by 2 points, and you're going to get a new one today as long as it holds 2 points higher, and you'll get that 7,000, which I think we're going to color it in gold. You got your nice almost 30-point range yesterday to continue to bring you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 green closes in a row, with today being number 6 pending. Over on your prep work, January, first week of 2026. What do we come down to? We're supposed to believe 70.50, 71.02. As we come on to second week of 2026, and bring it down to, we're supposed to believe, 70.50, 71.02, showing you the pathway to that. As we went into OpEx Friday, going back a week ago, once again, talking about how the pathway to 70.50, it's right there. You've got it all lined up. All you needed to do was place that low that we needed there on that Wednesday after having not had the minus 1% for so long. Now you've got your pathway perfectly pivoted to 70.49, 70.47. And as we went into pre-FOMC full moon top rally, because the full moon top is coming in, the same look that you are supposed to be believing, 70.50, 71.02. Nothing has changed. Nothing whatsoever. So, for those of you that want to get ahead, that want to get in front of the FOMC meeting, that want to get in front of 2 o'clock, that want to just go ahead and say, you know what? I've had a good month. I've had a great month. I've had a spectacular month. Whatever it is you want to say. If you want to say you had a shitty month, then you pretty much got a big fucking problem because you're the only one. You want to get on to, you want to get ahead of this and you want to play the upside. You want to play the upside, upside, upside. Well, you can get into the 70-40 calls right now at around $2.40. I really hope it works out for you. You can get into the 70-45, 70-40 bearish call credit spread. Down here, as the SPX is just above 7,000, and you're going to get yourself around 65 to 75 cents. You can go and say, you know what, fuck it, 7,005, 7,000. We have five green closes in a row, and the close yesterday was 69.7860. Whoop, 7,005, 7,000, bearish call credit spread, getting 250 or better. Whoop. And then you have those that prefer to be playing the single legs today, because today is the only day in the world that matters. It only matters today. They're $14.30. And compare that $14.30 for the 7,000 puts to the email I sent you out yesterday on the very first big trade that I have made for the year. Come out over here onto your 69.65, because you know 69.65, and I'll show it to you in a second here. You can get your 69.65 puts right here, right now, and they would run you just a little bit more than $5. You could go into the 69.50 puts. They're going to cost you a little bit more than $3. But don't forget that Jerome Powell is Donald Trump's bitch. You're going to get rambling coming out from Donald Trump this morning. You're going to get it later on this afternoon about how horrible Jerome Powell is, about how as soon as he's out of there, rates are going to come crashing down, and that is just going to fuck up the economy even worse. But who am I to say? I'm just over here. So that's what you got. And once again, pre-FOMC, like I sent out to you, if we can get that 16,000 beat, 16,000%, I might just take tomorrow off.